What's up, YouTube? Today's video is about why you should step away from your filmmaking career immediately. So let's go.
I'm going to shoot something really big.
So I know the title of this video sounds like fatalistic, but trust me, I have some solutions and why it's important for you to literally step away from your filmmaking career immediately. If your career right now looks something like this, if you have been in the industry for 10, 15 years and you haven't sold anything, or you haven't sold anything in the last, say, 3 years, then you have to ask yourself whether that is a real filmmaking career, one where you sell your original content and the work you've always wanted to be known for, or if that is an expensive hobby, if you are paying to work, if you are making things that only get seen at film festivals and you get paid in compliments, or if your life is filled with endless gig work, corporate stuff. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with corporate stuff if that's what you want to be known for. But if you want to be known for making movies or television shows or things like that, then you've got to ask yourself some real serious questions. If it is just a series of lawyer commercials or cosmetic dentist commercials or wedding videos or things like that, again, nothing wrong with those. It's just that most filmmakers don't want to be known for that. If money is constantly an issue, then again, you need to ask yourself, where is your career? But we have to look at the problems and the issues of one's career very, very clinically. We have to be able to look at them and admit them. As many of you know, I run a consultancy that helps filmmakers build high-earning original content companies so that they are able to monetize their filmmaking career and their expertise instead of hope some dude or dudette comes by, taps them on the shoulder and hands them a check for $1 million, because that's the other option here. If you're waiting to be discovered, that's not a career. That is waiting for luck to occur. And sometimes that happens, but rarely. I mean, rarely. Those people you see that seem to have shown up overnight, they curated something to get them there. So let's kind of look at the other side of where we all want to be. You know, what's that ideal destination, that perfect day look like? Well, to me, it was when I could sell to a group of people that had my best interest in mind and that I had their best interest in mind, and we knew each other. We took time to develop a professional relationship that wasn't just based on being transactional. Hey, what do you need me to be so I can get a check from you is not the question I should be asking there. And when I go in and say I can make anything you need me to make so that you can give me a check, that's not a way to build a buyer's network. So imagine if you had, I want you to transport yourself there. Imagine if you had 5 people you could pitch to regularly, 3 people. 1 person. Wouldn't that be better than just hoping, hey, I know a dude who knows a dude? I mean, that's just not a career. That is hope. And I'm not a big fan of hope. I'm a big fan of putting our hands on the wheels and running our own careers instead of them running us. Wouldn't it be better to pitch regularly and sell 1 project a year? Wouldn't that be something you could, or even 1 project every 2 years? Those projects can sustain us if we build our businesses correctly and we run our careers like a business, not like a dream. Because that dream ends up, that Hollywood dream, I've watched it kill more people in terms of kill careers, kill desire, kill passion for what people do. I've watched it dissolve careers. So we have to get out of the dreamscape and we have to get into what's real. Wouldn't it be great to work in an environment where you weren't working with what feels like a gun to your head, right? You weren't working in a place where I have to sell this in order to pay the bills, or I have to do a project I don't want to do that doesn't look like me, that is something that I'm not passionate about. We end up running our lives from a place of circumstance. I need to pay the car bill or I need to pay the rent, so I'm going to take something that doesn't look like me, right? Wouldn't it be better if we could take that feeling of emergency out of our life? Wouldn't it be better if we could breathe for a minute and create in a place that was more expansive than the one we feel like we're in right now? Again, wouldn't it be better to run our careers from a place of vision rather than circumstance? And in the end, wouldn't it be great if the money was just more predictable and more controllable? I'm not saying there isn't volatility in this business. There's a ton of it, but there is a way to package your career. And it may not look like the way you think it's supposed to, which is where this solution comes in, where, what we do at my consultancy and help people achieve is something that looks different than what they're usually accustomed to. So we have to ask ourselves, what's best right now? And the solution to everything I just talked about is, for right now, put down all your projects, step away from your career, literally for 60 days at the very least. I would recommend 6 months. And let me tell you why. My career, up until about 10 years ago, I'd say 10 years ago, looked exactly like what I just described to you. I was living from job to job. I was literally hired by the lowest bidder. I was bought on price. I was bought on selling my time, not my ideas. Because frankly, I can't tell you how many people just said, just set up a camera and just shoot it, not knowing what I did professionally, because I didn't have a way of explaining it and I didn't really know what I made at that point. I had some successes, don't get me wrong. I had, some pretty high ones, but after those, I would end up right back in the gig work. So everything was really inconsistent. So I had to step away. I literally tore my career down to the studs. I broke it all down. I looked at it and said, I'm not really running anything that's real here. This is so massively inconsistent and so inequitable and requires that I am working 24 hours a day, which I can't do. I was gone from my family, my children, for 342 days out of 365 one year. So that's not a life. That's not a career. That is being a servant to some dream I had, some story I told myself. I know it's hard to hear, stop doing what you're doing. But if you are about ready to go and borrow money from somebody or max out your credit cards or do something to make a movie, to be on set, stop. It is going to be very hard for you to make your way, to create your way into success that way. If I can do it, so can you. I just got done doing a podcast with the vice president in charge of marketing at Sonar Entertainment. They do a lot of TV. They do Hunters with Al Pacino. They do Taboo with Tom Hardy. They do Mr. Mercedes. They do a ton of huge television. It's owned by Sony. And this woman, who is become a good friend of mine and a colleague and somebody who I really respect, she took 8 years off. Now, I'm not saying you have to take 8 years off, but I am saying that you need to take a minute and get some perspective, pull back. If you want to know a step-by-step way of kind of how to rebuild your career, I'm going to leave a link below to a guide I created called How to Sell Your Film Without an Agent. And it'll walk you through kind of the old way, which is, if I just make something good enough, I'll get discovered. And the new way, how to create market leverage so you become irresistible to buyers. And even better, I'm gonna clear my calendar for the next 2 weeks. And I'm gonna leave a link below where you can set up a free strategy call. I'm not gonna sell you anything, but what we'll do is untangle where you are and come up with a plan together for how you can move forward in a place where you don't feel like you're creating with this sort of frickin' Damocles over your head. So if that makes sense to you, click those links. I want to hear from you because my goal is in the next 3 years, I literally want to help 100,000 filmmakers around the world free themselves from endless gig work, from unpredictable income, from not making the things that they've always wanted to be known for. So go ahead, click those links. I hope this has helped. And I hope that this makes sense. And I think once you read that guide, I could go on for 2 hours here, which is why I want you to read the guide instead of me just sitting here spewing at you. But if this has helped, go ahead, click the like button so we can make more videos like this. Click the subscribe button and click the little notification button so you're notified of upcoming videos. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. And I'm talking to you.